Run With Chestnut. Okay, what episode is this? 10?
This is 10.
Ooh. Wow, 10.
Yeah.
That's a pretty big number.
Please text win to 200 for your reward.
Are you serious right now?
Seriously?
No. Because I would have texted.
Yeah, me too. But it's not even the bottom of the hour, so.
That's true. Come on, Andrew. Get with the times.
I'm sorry. Text lose to 100 300.
Simon, I can't believe you got me actually into texting those radio things. I've actually done that a few times the last few
seriously?
Yeah, 100%. Dude, and I texted the group once. I was like, hey, guys, text win,
I
whatever.
saw that.
And
I heard.
none of you responded. So I'm like, screw you guys. Like, I'm not even going to contribute. Like, I'm just going to get this.
No, because I already had texted it when you texted
Oh, I see. All right. Well, then you didn't share it with the group?
You already shared it.
This is a team thing, man.
You already shared it before I did.
Don't do it on my own.
Your attitude is funnily enough related to the topic of today's episode.
What? Okay.
The Tao of Pooh.
Is it Tao or Tao?
Tao.
Tao?
Tao.
No,
It's Tao.
Okay.
It's Tao.
Okay.
100%.
Gotcha.
What about the Vow of Pooh?
It's Tao.
Okay.
Before we start, though, I love the guy. So near the beginning of the book, right, he explains to you how to pronounce Pooh.
Oh, yeah.
You catch that?
Yes.
It was like, it's not like the bear Pooh, where it's like too much ooh. It's like Pooh. Like you're pretending to blow a fly off of your arm. Like Pooh. Yeah. And see, this is a very good test of our microphone pop filter, if you can hear the pop in the Pooh.
Yes.
But I spent the subsequent 5 minutes just like pretending like I'm blowing a fly off of my arm and saying Pooh over and over again.
Bravo.
So, yes,
Bravo.
Thank you, Andrew. Thank you. So, Andrew is the resident Taoist in the room.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of. I kind of fell off of it when I stopped listening to Chinese children's stories. But, yeah, the basics are there.
Okay, so genetically you are a Taoist. Because obviously that's how Taoism works.
Sure. Yeah. Never mind the fact that my parents are both like Buddhists, but yeah.
There you go. And Simon has no idea what the hell Taoism is.
I mean, until
this book.
Yes, I learned it in high school, but I kind of zoned out.
Okay, so he has no idea.
Did this book teach you more or less than high school?
Well, I didn't remember anything, so I guess it taught me more.
See, so in the pursuit of knowledge, you can either learn more or just forget everything you know so that you can only learn a little bit, in which case you learned.
Right.
Both equates to learning.
Yes.
More than you did before.
Yes. But I was a different person in high school, so that doesn't...
I will say I did read this book in high school.
Oh.
And I remember that the thing you had to do to get an A in that class, like for all the homework assignments, was just write something along the lines of, just go with the flow, man. Like just
go with the flow, dude.
Nature and like wood, trees and like rivers and like not letting the rivers
like the water down a mountain stream.
Like you're a reed in the river, just flowing with the flow.
Yeah.
And then I got an A.
There you go.
Which is how Taoism works. Anyway.
Other acceptable responses would have been grass blowing in the wind.
Ooh, that's nice.
Mountain sturdy and still as a mountain until avalanches come, but
still is yeah.
I will be really interested to know how humans today practice Taoism.
Cue Andrew. Yeah.
I did my whole life basically.
Did you?
And look how Andrew turned out. Pretty good.
Yeah.
So I think Taoism is a pretty solid thing.
Yeah, but I mean, the whole point of Taoism is you never overthink things. You always go off your...
Do you know Andrew?
Oh, that's true.
Okay.
Excuse me?
No, dude. I feel like in some cases you like perfectly personify Taoism. In other cases you are like the absolute opposite. Like you just stress about certain things.
I mean,
yes.
Listen, you can only get so far with like a 3-year education via fables.
That's very true.
Taoism.
But also your idea of food. Just every time I think of food, I always think of you, Andrew, and like your idea of Taoism. Like you just eat anything in sight. Like you don't care if it tastes bad. Like if it's edible, you just eat it.
Yeah, I love how your Skype status message, if it's edible, eat it, is like
Taoist.
a perfect. It's a very Taoist.
It is.
Yeah, I'm surprised it took us 10 years to realize that message is a Taoist principle. Like you're basically expressing your inner Taoism.
Like every time I think of Pooh, in a way, I think of you. Wow.
There's also a very big message of Taoism in my favorite franchise, that of Dragon Ball, where it's like,
wait, Dragon Ball or Dragon Ball Z?
Dragon Ball Z. The whole franchise is Dragon Ball, but like,
I didn't know
the idea of like go with the flow until something massively terrible goes wrong, then because a lot of the problems in that whole franchise is like, don't do anything until it gets really bad, and then maybe then start paying attention. But like, it's
much like coronavirus. Anyway,
right?
America's attitude.
Yes.
Let's get political.
So, did either one of you know the historical, like where Taoism came from?
Are you referring to the beginning of the book with the 3 paintings and the?
Sure. Yeah. Let's talk about that. By the way, I suggest that for this episode, and obviously, I guess if people are listening, they would have known if we did this or not. But for this episode, I suggest that we pose our own photograph of 3 dudes like around a bowl of vinegar, and like Simon will have an expression, Andrew will have an expression, and I'll have an expression.
Sure, seeing as how I've never actually tried vinegar. I mean, I've had.
Excuse me, you've never.
No, I mean I've had like salad with like oil and vinegar, but like I've never actually tried vinegar.
Simon, you're very young. Anyway, yes.
So
there was one point
too.
There was one point in my childhood where I was in a dumpling craze, and I kept on eating dumplings for New Year's and stuff. And then it occurred to me, like, I love dipping dumplings in vinegar. So how would vinegar taste all on its own? It must be absolutely ecstatic, or it must be amazing.
Did you smile when you tasted it?
I smiled. I filled a bowl with vinegar, and then I tipped it back, and immediately stopped.
Stop smiling.
I mean, after the first one, I just like kind of choked a bit, and I was like, "Oh, that was a bit more than I was expecting."
Okay. So you could be the dude who's smiling.
Yeah, I won't know because I've never tried it.
I think Simon will be the one that thinks it's bitter.
Probably.
AKA Simon's Buddha. Oh, geez. Okay. And that means that leaves sourness. But see, I feel like sourness could go, like, it doesn't have to be negatively sour. It could be positively sour, like Sour Patch Kids. You know what I mean? It could be like smiley sour.
Yeah. But you tried vinegar, haven't you?
Of course I have.
Yeah.
But then you'd be overthinking it like the Confucianist.
Perfect. You see? Good job, Andrew.
Yes.
There you go.
So yes, Confucianist. So sour was Confucianist, right? Bitter was Buddhist. And
smiling was,
smile was Taoist. And the Confucianists thought that we all needed rules and like all about ancestral wisdom and things like that.
Yep.
Right. Buddha thinks suffering comes from desiring things and materialism and all that stuff.
Buddha's like the guy who would grit his teeth to just get through the ordeal. Like this is just another step in my journey to nirvana.
I actually picture Buddha just like licking his finger and be like, I must suffer this in order to get past this physical thing, which is vinegar.
It kind of ruins the image when you think of Buddha being a fat guy on a pedestal.
I wonder, yes, that is how he's portrayed a lot.
The most popular interpretation.
The most popular, yeah.
Although, would you say that humans apply all those 3 principles like all together without knowing that they do?
The culture of China is heavily based on those 3 schools of thought. Like you follow strongly one or all of those schools of thought.
I think I follow. Which one is the I overthink things a lot. I don't.
Confucianist.
Yeah, I think I follow Confucianism more than I do the other 2. Although
I think saying that Confucianism equals you overthink things a lot, I think that's oversimplifying it.
It is very
by an incredible degree.
But like because there's one saying that my parents love the most, and they cite this from Confucianist teachings that like the middle way is the best. Like, don't go to either extreme. And I feel like that's a slight merging.
That's kind of Taoist if you think about it. It's kind of like just go with the, like just like.
Yeah.
Well,
China's
maybe.
Huge melting pot of ideas, and we're probably misrepresenting a lot of these, but
yes, big disclaimer, we are not experts.
Nope.
Right,
we know absolutely nothing, which now gives us license to talk about absolutely everything,
as it says in our description.
Perfect. Yeah.
Yes, so I especially like this because obviously I like Winnie the Pooh, and anything in the context of Winnie the Pooh is I think entertaining. Right, Simon, did you catch what Taoism actually, like what the word actually means?
Yeah, so it's basically following nature in its course. And
No. What the word, like those translated, what does the word mean?
No, I didn't catch that.
I mean, Andrew, seeing as Andrew's...
the way, right?
Ooh, you took your hand off the rook, man. I'm sorry, it's my turn. Okay. Yes, the way. So technically the Tao of Pooh means the way of Pooh, right? As in the way of Pooh Bear. I should write a book called The Way of Chestnut. Anyway, happy, serenity, underlying humor, blah, blah, blah. I don't know, Andrew, do you ever use that word? I'm assuming it's Chinese, right?
Yeah, it is. But every time I say Tao, I think of or Tao, like it's pronounced more like Dal, and that makes me think of the school of thought that's associated with it. Can
you use that in a sentence that has nothing to do with Taoism?
Like, could you say that's the way this works, or
like that's the way? I like it.
Well, I mean, not really. There's a word that sounds similar to it, like Dolly, which is like ideas or reasoning, but it's not. No, I'm.
So
I'm not
you wouldn't use a word in a regular conversation,
right?
Normally, no.
Oh, interesting. Okay, I did not know that.
Or if there is a word, then it's I assumed it to be a homophone, not to be the exact same word.
And that's Mandarin, right? Like the word Tao, or is it in Cantonese as well?
I mean, it's across all the dialects.
Okay, yeah.
Can you say that again, Andrew?
It's across all the dialects.
No, the word.
Dal.
Oh, okay. I'm not even going to try to... Okay. Yeah. Moving on. Anyway. I completely forgot about the whole uncarved block thing.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I remember, we spent so much time in class talking about the uncarved block, which is like the main symbolism thing in Taoism, or like at least expressed in this book about Taoism, right?
I think he gave the analogy of like a tree being uncut and what was the other one?
I
don't remember.
I don't remember any of this being taught in high school. I think I just coasted by on what I knew.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Very very me. Just, aren't you afraid of not paying attention in class? And no, I'll just show up to the quiz. If I get it, I get it. If I don't, I don't.
I like how he's like, Pooh, can you explain the uncarved block? And he's like, what's the uncarved block? It's you, buddy. It's you. Literally you. And he said, we won't try too hard to explain because that'll only confuse things. Which I like as just a principle to go through life on. Because it's like, hey, we won't try. Yeah. We won't try. That's how he basically introduces his whole book. It's like, we're not going to try too hard because that'll just confuse you. Which I feel like in another context would be like him calling me stupid, but that's fine. Anyway, I don't know. I mean, I guess we can go this chronologically, but like what parts did you guys like or didn't like?
I mean, I liked the whole. I don't think there's something I didn't like about it.
I think the thing to point out is that in this book, they specifically say simple, so the whole thing of Taoism is like simplicity, right? Yeah. But they specifically say simplicity does not necessarily mean stupid.
Right.
Which I feel like if a lot of people read this book without the context, they might think like, oh, so they're just trying to say that he's stupid. Or like people who read Winnie the Pooh who don't know about this book, they might be like, oh, he's just a stupid bear, right?
Yeah, it's not. The idea of just not overcomplicating things, which is very different from saying
like stupid. He also gave the example of like a scholar in the, I forgot what chapter it was. He said something like a scholar basically writes essays that we like normal people cannot understand.
Oh yeah.
I think he was trying to use owl for that.
What was it? The wise aren't learned and learned aren't wise.
Something like that.
Right? Lao Tzu?
Yeah.
How do you say that dude's name?
Lao Tzu. Well, Lao Tzu
say that again.
Appropriate. Lao Tzu.
Okay,
I'm not gonna
try that either. But
Lao Tzu, if you will.
Okay. He does break down the wood, right? He said rabbits has knowledge for the sake of being clever.
Yeah.
Owl has knowledge for the sake of being wise.
Yeah, but not practical, really.
And Eeyore is knowledge for the sake of complaining.
Basically.
Right. I love that so much.
I really enjoyed that one.
Yes. Knowledge for the sake of complaining.
Very relevant in today's society.
Yeah, that me, in a way.
No, because that implies you have knowledge. Boom! No, anyway. Yeah, that's kind of, I mean, yeah. I don't know, Simon.
You are what you choose to be.
You are what you are.
I also like the message, it was somewhere in the middle of the book where it said, if you don't like if you don't like something about yourself, use it to your use it to benefit you, and then, yeah.
Can you give an example of that, Simon, in your own life?
Oh, God. Okay, yeah. Let's see.
Well, how about this? While you think, I will add on to those four rabbit. What was it? Rabbit, owl, and
Eeyore.
Eeyore. Tigger.
Oh yeah.
Doesn't know what he can't do, so he does it anyway.
Right, and the whole limit thing. He learned his limit.
Yes. Sure. Now Tigger is just kind of stupid.
Can tigers climb trees? Why, of course they can.
Of course, we can do anything. Bounce.
But yeah, anyway, one example of me is that, so for those, well, obviously you guys are listening to this, I'm pretty small, so...
okay, let me paint this picture. Simon is like 120 pounds, soaking wet. He's like 5 foot, maybe.
Did you say soaking wet?
Yeah, it's an expression.
Oh.
5'3".
Simon also doesn't really get out much. 5'2", I would say. 5'2", okay. But listen, we add an inch for Andrew, okay, not for.
Shush.
5'3", okay, we'll say 5'3", and you have like size 5.5 feet.
7.
Okay, sure. Anyway, he's small. Continue.
And so like everyone who looks at me, or like the way I walk into a room, I'm kind of viewed as like a cute little puppy. So
I'm cringing over here, but then go, yes.
So I used to hate that, but then
I think Andrew's just like unconscious over there.
But then like we also talked about, I can use that to my advantage because some people actually like that, or like I can be kind of goofy with that whole thing. So
I think it's like the awkward kid in middle school who realizes that he can like start cracking jokes and make people like he realizes that you don't have to be quote unquote cool to have friends. Right. Like you can like start being self-deprecating and
hey, that was me.
Make jokes. Yeah.
Like yesterday at the beach, we all went to the beach.
We did all go to the beach yesterday. That, by the way, I will say my shoulders are feeling it, man.
And that was kind of being all like goofy in the water towards the end, making weird noises.
Sure, yeah. Let's just say that was that was deliberate on your part. Yes.
It's okay. Simon's new to Taoism. It's he's okay. I do agree with you though. That equation represented in the middle of the book was it's a huge part of that it reminds me humongously if anybody's watched the Mulan movie made by Disney.
I have not.
Where like the the Han leader, he's cornered the emperor, and he's like, bow to your new master. And like the emperor is like, much like how a mountain cannot bow to the howling wind, I too cannot bow to you. And it's like basically this whole idea of being yielding when you need to be and unyielding when you don't need to be, turning negatives into positives and remaining steadfast in others. It's a very big part of the Taoist philosophy.
I think that was very well said, Andrew.
Yes.
Isn't there a new Mulan movie coming out soon?
There's a live action one. I hear there's a bit of controversy around it, but that's new.
Do you know what the controversy about?
Maybe that the main character is played by a Caucasian girl, which is a bit ridiculous because
Is the real character Caucasian?
the real character is, I mean,
Isn't the main character Asian?
Are you talking about in story or?
Yeah, dude, it's been a long time. I don't remember it too well.
Yeah, no, the whole story takes place in China or Asia.
Oh, and they're saying that the main character should be Chinese because it takes place in
Yes,
China. Okay, then, okay.
And, literally, I don't think it should make a difference as long as they have all the mannerisms down, but,
Yeah.
I
wonder if there's going to be like a Chinese version, like not dubbed, but you know, you can choose a different,
like a remake,
or not even a remake. Just you can choose
I doubt it because I don't think Disney has ever done that before.
Okay, that makes sense.
But yeah, tangents aside, Taoism through the lens of Winnie the Pooh, I didn't think it would work so well as it did.
Oh, so this is the first time you're reading this, right?
Yeah, first time I'm reading it.
And
Interesting.
what'd you think? I mean, we'll give scores in the end, but like in general.
It works really, really well, and I wonder if the creator for Winnie the Pooh ever contemplated this.
Yeah.
Or
You think he's like a closet Taoist, just like trying to teach like little American kids like Taoism without actually saying it's from China?
I think more likely he's just a very lucky cartoonist, but
he's an imposter.
If he did, then props to him. Very big props to him.
Yeah,
It's
well,
awesome.
one thing I will say is, okay, what do you guys think? What age group is this book for?
High school, probably.
Oh, okay. Then,
Say high
yeah.
school.
I would say it's relevant, like in terms of studying it or like reading it, for that purpose. I would say high school. But I
don't
think
know if,
it's
like little kids will understand it though. Like little kids that watch Winnie the Pooh, I don't know if they'd understand.
no. But I mean, I think you could read as early as middle school and like get something out of it.
Yeah.
And you could read it as old as 85 or whatever, and still like dig it. I will say we've been pretty complimentary of Taoism to this point. I will point out one thing that I don't agree with is I think science exists for a reason.
Yeah.
Right. And it has its place. So like he said a few things like he's like, oh, we don't have to examine everything through an electron microscope.
Yeah.
No. We don't have to it's like, oh, why do birds fly south of the winter? Instinct, aka we don't know. Like
But
I feel like yeah. It's like science has done some like pretty awesome things, right? Like a lot of
like
whatever cured medicines and treatments and technologies, eco-friendly, like I don't know. We're not going to talk about why science is good, right? Science is good. Technology is awesome.
Yes.
So I think like I think it's oversimplifying. To dismiss science is oversimplifying simplicity. Like, you know what I mean?
It's
I think you could be a Taoist computer programmer
you
and
could.
be an awesome programmer because you would like take out all the fluff from your program and have like only the most simplest equations and have it work perfectly,
Right.
Yeah. With any ideology, when you take it to the extreme, there are some things that don't quite follow through. And one of the biggest complaints of Taoism, I think, is the idea that you're being too complacent. You're too reactionary, almost.
Right. You're just going through the motions, right? You're just like letting things happen to you instead of making things happen.
Yeah. When
I
in
guess.
actuality, a lot of today is due in part to our, I guess, our drive to seek for advancement. Much like how, I guess, I don't know, funding for the military or funding research labs for all these things. I mean, good things come out of it.
Well, think about like this book. If it wasn't for technology, this book would not have been published.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I mean, yes, like audiobook and the internet and stuff like that, but even just like regular paperback, like binding and distribution of products, aka book, like that's the type of technology, right?
But then do you think the author himself agrees with these types of things he's writing about, or do you think he's just writing based on the teachings of...
I would assume that he agrees with most, if not all of it. Otherwise, why would he write it?
I mean, like I said, no one takes an ideology to the absolute extreme, right? Because then...
Right.
Well, like you shouldn't. Not that no one does.
You really shouldn't.
Any ideology.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, I mean, we were pretty complimentary, so I would say that's like one thing that I feel like most, not that I have like a convention of Taoists like living around the block for me that I share thoughts with on a daily basis, but like,
no, just me.
Yeah, just your friendly panda dude living up in the Bronx.
Yep.
Yeah.
But so I feel like most people don't take it to that extreme to like completely dismiss like, oh, we shouldn't rely like all technology is bad and blah blah. But like, I think it's worth noting that there's a disconnect there, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So take it for what it's worth. Like the major takeaway I take away from this is just not when things seem to be pressing in on you and you have so much pressure in your life, maybe just take a step back and try to look at them through as uncomplicated a lens as possible. And
simplify,
go with the flow. And it does worlds of good to being stressed and stuff. So
there's a military, or I guess an acronym used in the military and some other communities called, I think I told you guys, it's called KISS, K-I-S-S, keep it simple, stupid.
Oh, yes. Yes.
AKA stop overcomplicating things, just keep it simple.
Yeah.
I think that's like, if you had to boil this book down, or Taoism down, it's basically keep it simple, buddy.
Yes.
Like, stop overthinking it.
Yep.
And I feel like that's a takeaway that can apply to a lot
I agree with that takeaway, honestly. Like I mean, from a person, we all went to college. I mean, and I will say, like, when I get readings that I need to do that are written by, researchers, I feel like my time gets wasted because these people just don't get to the point fast enough. So,
that's literally that's how you're taught to write academically, right? Academic writing is like making it sound like literally multiple times I've gotten assignments back, or like early in college, where it's like, this is an awesome idea. It sounds amazing, but you need to make it sound more professional. You need to use bigger words. And like they literally basically was saying,
always really annoyed me. And I'm like,
please give us more padding.
Yeah.
No, anyway.
And then ironically, you have a class after that called business writing, where they're like, please just keep it simple and get to the point quickly.
Yeah.
Try to get you out of this mindset.
Right. It took me like a good, like at least a few months, no, more than that, almost a year, to like break the habit of just automatically fluffing things up.
Yeah.
Right. And I have a habit of sometimes doing it. Like I'll use extra words and repetitive words, but also it's just like, I do wonder, is there a value in that? Like, well, okay, when teaching it to someone, like I do wonder if people should look at the education system and think, okay, are we teaching them how to write properly for the rest of their lives? Because most people, unless you're becoming a scholar, probably don't write the way that they do.
Well, I think for the most part, well, first of all, that's remember Toulouse in Fordham?
Yeah.
Dr. Toulouse. That's why he was so popular, I think. His professor I had, and Simon's cousin actually had too, Andrew. He's a political science professor. He basically, like, all his writing was short to the point. Like, he had word maximum limits. Like where it's like you cannot submit more than this. You can do as short as you want to like get the point across. You can do like 30 words, but you cannot write more than like. And it was, I mean, it literally was the complete opposite of what you were taught in college. You know?
Right. That's one basic thing I hate about college. So.
Yeah, and but honestly, to play devil's advocate for a second, I would say the benefit of learning how to like fluff things up that much and really like pad is I feel like it teaches you a manipulation of the English language that you would not know otherwise. Like it really teaches you how to get nuanced with words and
I mean, yeah,
use language. Like I feel like I write pretty well, and I think part of that is learning how to make things sound very, very fluffed up. You know what I mean? Like
it definitely is.
You can probably be more sneaky in the sense that like if you're trying to find a loophole for something, if you write a certain way, you can probably get away with something.
Right. And I feel like a lot of my vocabulary too came from that, like trying to find big words, you know, like when I write a proposal now or like a strategic plan or like anything like that, like obviously it's nowhere near as fluffed up as like academic writing, but I feel like I'm drawing on certain principles that I learned.
I guess I do it too without realizing it, or I did it in the past without realizing it. I just never really accounted it towards that.
I mean, I agree with the vocabulary, and I think a huge part of it is also just learning to structure things. Because I don't know, how often do you use these super long essay structures? So being able to find ways to incorporate that into your education is a bit, I think, difficult to say the least.
I'll go one step further. How often do you actually write essays when you're not in school?
Yeah.
Right? Like the closest thing to an essay is like a multi-page, like business outline or proposal or like grant. I don't know. Like, like when the hell do you write a 5-paragraph essay in real life? Right? Like it's just
right. Yeah.
So, yeah.
I write it in my diary.
You must have a really boring diary, Andrew. In conclusion, introduction, 3 body paragraphs.
And summation.
Yeah. Oh my God, I hate it when they're like, no, you cannot use conclusion, like the word conclusion in your conclusion. I'll be like, okay. In summation. To conclude.
And then, like, another professor was like, you can use to sum it all up. And I'm like, so in conclusion's wrong, but to sum it all up is fine.
Right. You can use synonyms or like, oh my God. That's really annoying. Yeah. School, guys.
But
School.
Hopefully a few changes come along the way.
That's true. We'll see.
What comes.
We'll see.
At risk of dating ourselves.
Say again?
At the risk of dating this podcast.
Yeah, if you're listening to this for like years from now and like schools, you basically are like the Jetsons where you sit in a pod and this big like fish bowl that's inverted comes down and lowers over your skull and you're beamed information through your skull. Then clearly this does not apply to you.
No.
This is how it was back in the day, kids.
Yeah.
No, right?
But if it's not like the Jetsons, that's an awesome show, by the way. I used to like
no experience.
The Jetsons and the Flintstones. What?
I like the Flintstones.
I've heard of the Flintstones,
but I don't remember anything though, because I watched that back when I was like 3 or 4.
These were like old I think these were like out in the 80s, 70s, 80s.
Actually, I was thinking of doing voiceover acting classes back in a year ago, and one of the teachers I was going to sign up with had worked as a lead on the Flintstones, lending his voice.
Really?
So,
what was he?
I don't remember.
If you say Fred Flintstone or Barney, I'm going to freak.
I could find out, actually.
Man.
In the words of the Flintstones, yabba dabba do. Which, now I think about it, is very similar to Scooby Doo.
A little bit. I mean...
Okay, maybe very similar is a stretch.
you know what they say, imitation is the best form of flattery.
Dude, okay, we're like completely going off topic, but I recently rewatched this, like the live action Scooby Doo movie.
Oh yeah?
Right? And I don't remember what the name of it was. It was one of the recent ones. No, not recent, like one of the more recent ones.
Sure.
And there is such a blatant reference to marijuana in that beginning. Like literally, like Scooby and Shaggy are in the back of a van, and all you see is like steam or like smoke just venting out of the top of this van.
I think I might remember that episode.
Yes.
Oh man.
and then they're like, "Oh, we're gonna get so toasted, guys!" Like literally.
Oh god.
And then they show them inside the van, and they're like roasting hot dogs over a fire or something.
Wow.
It's like the most stupid. Oh my
It
god!
amazes me how much underground references there are to this so-called menace to society, the way that it was dealt with legally. But in cartoons, they're just like so much reference to it.
Especially old cartoons, right?
Yeah.
Like,
and I think it's because of the gag element it provides, like how the realistic element of humor provides to those shows. And nowadays, like, you look at it and you say, oh, like, from an educational standpoint, it is harmless. And, I mean, I don't know. I guess the closest equivalent I could think of nowadays is, like, randomly killing a cartoon character as a slapstick. But, like, I think it's very interesting how those things evolve over time through societal...
I was absolutely insane. And then it goes through like periods where it's acceptable and other periods where it's not, right? And the same thing could be said for language or different like
For sure.
what is it? Not literary, but like tools and things that they use, you know?
Yeah.
It's super insane. Like Scooby snacks, like those are literally edibles.
Yes.
Like that's what it is.
Scooby snacks and
does anyone ever realize, like, think how weird it is for a group of people to just be riding around the countryside in a van? Right? Like, it's four people and a dog just riding around their van, like a countryside in a van.
And they barely see their parents.
Yeah. They almost never see their parents. It's called the Mystery Machine. It's like, wow.
As like the meddling kids.
Oh my god, dude. I love that. If I had to pick like a favorite cartoon, that is on the top three, easily top three.
Yeah.
Easily.
Sure.
Yeah.
What's your guys' favorite cartoon?
I mean,
So I never really watched many cartoons.
Okay. So you never had like a favorite one?
No.
Okay, what about you,
The
Asher?
ones- Yeah.
I mentioned it earlier. Dragon Ball franchise is the one.
Dragon Ball, yeah, okay. All right, no, but like cartoon, like not anime.
Oh,
Not
actually,
Asian.
I take that back.
Okay.
I think probably from what I watched would be The Last Airbender.
Oh my
I mean,
god, dude! I was in
that's-
Jersey last week or two, right? They were
Yeah.
rewatching the entire Avatar: Last Airbender.
Dude, it's really it's really good, but it's funny because it wasn't meant to be binged originally. Like,
Oh, they binged it, bro. They watched like
Yeah.
100 episodes in like the week. Like it was bad. It was really bad.
but so many people are binging it now because, like, I think something is coming out soon.
I think
or
they
the
just put on
horizon.
Netflix or something,
Oh,
or
is that
it
why?
just got on one of the services.
I'm just so shocked by how many people are coming into it this year, and it's like someone did a video essay about it, and they were talking about how one of its best qualities is that it didn't need to be binged. Like, it got the best TV rating reviews because every episode is a self-contained story, or nearly every episode.
Yeah,
So-
but I mean, there was an overarching plot.
There is, and there are other series like that, and they're becoming more and more popular now because of how binge-based our entertainment consumption is.
Right.
Well, if you think about it, if you're content in watching one episode where like each episode is a self-contained plot, what's like there's no value of binging it, right? Because like you have an opening and a closing. So I feel like but I'm saying like I feel like commercially those franchises make a lot less money because people just don't like compare that to like a series where people just have to get through and they watch it addicted to it, right?
Yes.
But I think it's those shows that straddle the line between being plot oriented and episodic. It's those that are really beginning to shine nowadays. Like Last Airbender straddles the line between episodic and having an overarching plot.
Right.
Otherwise, it would be in the same category as like SpongeBob or something where it's very episodic.
I feel like okay. I was gonna say that I feel like it has to have a strong overarching plot though to succeed. But then I'm thinking about different shows, even like non-cartoons, and that's not exactly true. Think like Friends.
Yeah.
Friends had like each episode was its own contained thing. There were like overarching themes.
Yeah.
But the plot within each episode was a lot stronger than the overarching theme. Right. The overarching theme was like barely there.
Right.
Yeah.
And yet it worked amazingly.
Yes.
It does.
For like Big Bang Theory, like a little bit more overarching theme, but still like nowhere, still a lot more self-contained episode.
Right.
Yeah, very much.
Compared to like what's another big, I guess like Breaking Bad, right? Like that.
Yeah,
or like
I was just gonna mention that.
Lost, and then after Lost was Breaking Bad. I feel right. And then like kind of shattered into a bunch of different shows. I'm talking like big societal, like what everyone,
Right.
And I feel like those two were more focused on overarching
plots. And
I don't know, man. I guess it's just if it's a good show or not.
Right.
Yeah.
And are you a fan of The Last Airbender?
I've seen like a half of one episode.
Wait, I thought you said last week everyone binged it, or
No. Like when I went to Jersey, there were like a few folks there who were binging. Like literally, I'd go to sleep and I'd hear it in the basement, like going. I recognize the voice, and exactly. And I woke up in the morning and like it was still going. I'm like, Jesus Christ, guys, like go to sleep.
Next time we're hanging out, we're watching The Last Airbender.
Oh hell no!
Why not?
Hell no!
Why
I feel
not?
like there's something.
I could probably pick a few that you might be interested in, but
okay, I would be
Why
open to
would it-
watching one or two episodes, but I feel like that's like as a grown ass man, right? There has to be something in cartoons that draw me to it other than just the story,
but
right? Like I could watch Scooby Doo because it's the story, but also it's like a bunch of stoner kids in a van, like it's funny, you know what I mean? Like,
I mean, I guess, but Avatar has a lot of Asian philosophies behind it.
It does.
And actually, a lot of those philosophies are represented by one of the side characters, old Uncle Iroh, who is literally the fan favorite of every person who watches the series, because Iroh is just super chill and just like, please, Zuko, sit down and drink your jasmine tea.
And
drink your
Zuko's
jasmine tea. Wait, does he really say that?
Yes, he does.
Oh my
He's
God,
like,
that's awesome.
it is good for your health. And he got like everyone's like, Iroh, you used to be a general of the army. What are your greatest dreams now? What do you aspire to? He's like, I just want to sit down and open my tea shop.
All right, you're starting to convince me, Andrew. All right, we might have to watch a few episodes.
Yes.
By the way, you do a very good job. You do like a very convincing Asian old man.
Yeah, you do.
Like in 60 years, I can picture you on your porch, like talking about tea shops.
Right.
What's the name of the kid?
The main character?
The main character? Avatar, Ing, right?
No.
Aang or something?
Aang, yeah, it's Aang. It's Aang.
Ing,
Oh,
my bad.
okay. Ing.
Yeah, Ing. Right,
No.
yeah, my bad. It was a couple of years ago. Did you like Korra, Andrew?
No.
Okay, my cousin said I think some people like Korra better than Last Airbender. I haven't seen Korra.
What's Korra?
I hear Korra is great or fantastic from an animation point of view. Like the graphics are just so much more vivid and clear, and look way better than Last Airbender. But
What is
from a
that?
story perspective, it's Korra is the sequel to Last Airbender, and it's the characterization and story are not as well done.
No, okay.
Though the overarching plot is much stronger, which a lot of people argue hurts the style of Last Airbender or the Avatar series.
Right.
Yeah.
Is this like Naruto and then Shippuden?
No, because Shippuden was done well.
Oh, okay.
From my point of view, it's very divisive in the fandom. Very divisive.
Yeah, thanks for dividing the crowd, Andrew. Like half of them like hate your guts, and the other half are like,
Exactly.
"Yeah, Andrew."
There you go. Yeah.
Thanks, buddy.
There you go.
It only took us 10 episodes to divide our crowd.
Yeah.
There you go. You're with me or against me.
Yeah. 10 episodes, man. I did say that if we do hit 50, we would do like a special episode featuring Andrew's talents.
I'm licking my chops.
All right.
Okay.
Sure, Panda.
Licking.
Also, when we first started calling you Panda like years ago, right? I never actually put it together with Panda Express, like the Chinese takeout.
Oh God!
I mean, neither did I. I didn't even know that was a thing. I thought people were joking around. I was like, I can't believe. Wait, there's an actual franchise called that? Like,
Yeah, exactly, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like it'd be slightly racially charged if I call you Panda Express, like out in public with people who don't get the background.
Wait, have you guys ever tried
exactly.
Panda Express?
no.
I tried it once. It was decent.
Yeah, same. I had it first time. Actually, I had the only time I've ever had it was in Six Flags.
The one around here? The New York? Yeah.
Jersey.
Wow.
I don't know if that's a good representation of a franchise's quality. Like if you have it at a theme park.
Probably not, honestly. But
Honestly, dude, I'm kind of excited for, I know like Disney's planning on reopening, but like with
they?
limitations on how many people can be in the park because of, the virus and stuff.
yeah,
And
I bet
obviously,
jack up prices on the tickets.
so far they are not. So far it's the same prices because like financially they're able to operate on, I don't remember if it was like a third or quarter capacity and still break even and like still make some money.
Wow.
So
wow.
I could be completely wrong. I like heard about this a couple weeks ago. But one thing that would be interesting is I wonder if Disney trips will be like not horrible now because you don't have to wait 3 hours to get onto one ride. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I wonder
That place was always so crowded. I remember I went there twice.
which one.
Disney World.
That's Florida?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. You ever been to Land in LA?
No.
Angie, what about you? Either one?
I thought about it, but no. No, neither.
One thing I really want to check out. So I've never been to Disney. Actually, well, I don't remember if I went to Disney World or not in Florida. If I did, it was like when I was really young. But I went to Land in California, and I went to Disney in Tokyo. But I've never been to Disney in China.
Huh.
And I feel like that would be just such an entertaining experience just to see how it is. You know what I mean? If there's anything different.
Right.
I guess you'd have to find Mickey or whoever's dressed up as Mickey.
Yeah, like I don't know.
Chinese Mickey Mouse.
Yeah.
That would be very.
It would be super interesting, right? Like,
Yeah, for sure.
think like I don't know. Think Chinese Scooby Doo. Like, it's just you know.
Man, is that a thing? I need to look that up now.
My god, we need to look that up, right?
Yeah.
What have I done? No, dude. There's got to be like a Chinese dubbed version of Scooby Doo. Can you imagine?
Dude, this reminds me of that one time I found a YouTube video where it's SpongeBob singing a song.
Yeah.
And then there's a video that said SpongeBob singing it in 15 different languages. And
Wow.
And 2 of those 15 were different versions in French. So I have to imagine French, and Canadian
Oh my
French.
god! Can you imagine Scooby Doo in French, like a French Scooby?
And at one point in the song, like, SpongeBob was supposed to beatbox, right? But
Oh no!
I don't know whose idea was in the French dub. Instead of beatboxing, it just sounds like he's gagging the whole time. It's just like, no, that's...
Yo, that is awesome. Oh my god, I'm YouTubing that when we get off this thing, man.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Wow, that's awesome. Wow. Okay. Well, we've been to many places.
We have taken the Tao away and just let it flow naturally.
Yeah. We've taken it with the Tao away, and we are left with Pooh, but not like the bear or not, the uncarved wood.
No, please put your practice to good use.
We just take off the H, and we're left with POO.
Yes.
Okay. Overall ratings, I guess. Andrew, out of 5, what do you give this book?
I'd give it. I'd say a solid 4.
Yeah, solid. Simon?
I'll go with that too.
Yeah, same 4. 4's all around.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Well,
Cool.
We hit a place where no one thought we would go, aka double-digit episodic numbers.
Yes.
It's all downhill from here, guys. Next step is 100, or I guess 50.
Huh. Yep.
50 is a fun number.
50 is a fun number, especially if Andrew brings his special skills.
Oh, yes. Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Yep.
Let's just say it has something to do with two letters that are the same. That may or may not also be a pastry franchise.
It's okay. Just leave
Okay.
me alone. Leave me alone.
Oh my god. All right. That's
All
it,
right.
guys.
Take it
Andrew
easy.
Zhang, thanks for coming again. Thanks for being our resident knowledge and expert on all things Asian philosophy.
Yes.
Please, when you fact check, do limit your cursing to a minimum.
Or curse at him in Chinese. He's learning his
Right.
mother tongue right now. Like
Yes.
he knows it, but like he's learning it like academically.
Slowly and painfully.
Slowly and painfully. So please address all complaints in Mandarin, right? Mandarin? Yeah.
Yes,
In
Mandarin,
Mandarin. Please address all complaints in Mandarin to Mr. Andrew Panda,
Yes.
who resides in, up over there, over that hill,
Well,
right over there.
educate me in my fluffing.
Okay. Simon, thanks for coming again.
Thank you.
Thanks
having
for
me.
bringing your, I don't know what you brought, but thanks anyway. Running.
Wow. All right. You're welcome.
And I'm Francesco. So that's about it. See y'all next time.
See you next time.
All right.
Run with Chestnut.